Let's move on to the pitching, Tom. The rotation, you have three guys at the top of the rotation, all with major league experience. Right-hander Josh Hall comes back. He spent part of the last 2 seasons with Lancaster, and he's going to be starting the opener on the 22nd.
Right. Josh is a proven winner in this league. Very good character guy, good work ethic. Just a real professional. He gives you a great effort every time out. He battles, and his stuff's still good. So, I'm looking for more of the same out of him, and we're going to give him the opening day start and get him out there as much as we can.
Jason Simontachi had major league experience with the Cardinals and the Nationals, and he has played for a couple of Atlantic League teams as well. He's with the Barnstormers this year.
Right. Jason's a guy that I spoke a lot to this winter. He's coming off surgery where he missed all of last year, but he rehabbed properly. He went to Venezuela this past winter and pitched down there and pitched very, very well. And all the reports I got on him was that he's ready to go again. Mm-hmm. He's another veteran, crafty guy. His stuff isn't maybe what it used to be, but he still knows how to pitch. He's got a good variety of pitches. He throws strikes. Those kind of guys can win in this league, as Denny Harriger proved in '06. So I'm looking for him to be a real steadying force in the starting rotation.
McKay McBride's in that rotation as well. He's missed the last 2 seasons with injuries, '08 with Tommy John surgery, and then last year he had a screw put in his elbow to alleviate a stress fracture. I guess you're going to be bringing him along slowly, but he has the potential since he was with the Tigers, I believe.
Yeah, McKay, I have a history with him. I coached a high school all-star team that he was on and got to know him as a youngster, and then he was the number 1 pick of the Atlanta Braves back in 2001 maybe. Made a pretty quick rise up through the Braves organization and got to the big leagues with the Braves, and then was traded to Detroit and was in the big leagues with Detroit. Again, another guy with good stuff. The injury doesn't scare me because he went through his rehab, and today's surgical procedures are so good that these guys a lot of times come back stronger because they're repaired. Plus, they rehab and they really get that area strong. So, he's looked good out here. He got through Detroit spring training with no problems. We will, we'll be careful with him, and obviously, if he has any tenderness or anything, we'll be very careful and monitor that. But I look for him to be solid and really help us out.
Jose Sanchez is another one that the fans probably don't know yet. He was in the Mets system, and he's going to be in your rotation as well.
Right. He's a guy that 2 years ago in Double-A with the Mets won 13 games and was really considered a good prospect with them, and then had the following season developed mononucleosis and had an off year. And for some reason the Mets released him, which I really can't understand. But he was a guy that had a great winter season in Venezuela last year. I've heard nothing but glowing reports about him, and I think he may end up being our best guy, from all that I've heard. But we're gonna, we just got him here, and we're gonna, get his pitch count up and hopefully get him into the rotation as quickly as we can.
Dan Brower, a young lefty that was in the Phillies system, he's pitched his way onto the team and looks like might be your fifth guy.
He could be,
or possibly Ben Fritz as well.
Yeah, possibly Ben or Dan. I'd like to have 2 left-handers in the rotation, but Brower is a guy that was in the Phillies organization. His numbers were always very good as far as he doesn't give up a lot of hits and he strikes out a lot of guys. But he's always had control issues. So,
but he's thrown strikes this spring.
Yes, he has, and he deserves a chance to start the season with us. So we'll continue to run him out there and see how he does.
And Fritz is back.
Yeah, Ben Fritz is another guy that he went through spring training with the White Sox and got released late. And I like Ben. He's a guy that pitched well for me here last year. He'll probably start out in the bullpen, but early in the season he'll get a lot of work because the starters don't get as deep into games as they will later. So, Ben's a big power right-handed arm that we'll find a way to utilize that.
And coming out of the pen, you have three lefties that people are familiar with. Ross Peoples, who is the last of the original Barnstormers, still here. Eric Ackerman, who's been here since the championship season. And Jim Heiser, who came for about, I think, maybe 14 games last year, hard-throwing side arming lefty as well.
Right. Well, all three of those guys have shown that they can be successful in this league. And, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use them all yet, but again, early in the season, you need a lot of pitching, so it's nice to have four left-handed arms in the bullpen that I can go to, and you can really do a lot of matchups late in the game. Try to have a lefty come in to get a left-handed hitter out, and when you have a lot of guys in the pen early, you can afford to do those things.
And you have three righties in the pen, well, four total, but the three middle guys will be Tim McNabb, Austin Hinkle, and John Mueller. Veteran guy and a couple of younger guys, and Hinkle's a local Hempfield kid.
Yeah, Austin's pitched very well, and he's a guy that has command of three pitches, and then the other two, McNabb is just a bulldog strike throwing guy that you can count on coming in and pumping the strike zone, and then John Mueller has a pretty good track record coming out of the Frontier League, which is a younger league, but he's done well closing games there. He's a power arm. He can strike some people out. And again, we'll find out more about the younger guys once you turn the lights on and there's people in the seats screaming at them.
Yeah.
And sometimes things change, but I think they can all handle it. They have a good makeup, and we'll find out.
All right. And then at the end of the game, you got two guys that could close, and these guys both have been successful when the lights have been up. Tim Hamulak, Scott Patterson. Patterson's the first Barnstormer ever to go from here to the majors, and both hard-throwing guys, and both guys with major league experience.
Yeah, we're very fortunate that had guys of that quality that are end of the game type of guys come our way. Not sure how long we're going to have either one of them, but again, I'm going to run them out there for as long as they're here, and hopefully get the most out of them.
So you got good starters, and you got the bullpen that if you have the lead, get to the end of the game and get that win. So that's something you had when you had the championship year.
Yeah, that was the formula in 06 when we won. That year, if you didn't have us beat after 6 innings, you were in trouble because we had the last 9 outs of the game were taken care of with Matt Knox and Charlie Weatherby and Scott Patterson. So I'm hoping to utilize that same kind of formula, and I think if we have a lead, we're going to be able to hold on to it.
So Tom, you seem to have all the pieces in place: good hitting, good pitching. You have the experience of managing a championship team. What do you have to do to make sure that this stays on track the whole way through the year?
Well, sometimes I can only control so much. Sometimes there are things that are out of your control. You can't predict injuries. You can't predict affiliated teams coming in and signing your players. The other teams in the league are pretty good too. I look around and see Somerset's very good again. Southern Maryland's loaded. York is very, very much improved. So there'll be a lot of other good teams out there. We don't have all the good players
right
here. So it'll be very competitive, and I hope that I know that we'll be competitive as well. And we're all anxious to get it going to see how we do.
All right, well, I want to say thanks for talking to us, and good luck in the upcoming season.
All right, thank you, Bert.
I also want to thank Lancaster Barnstormers fans for tuning in, and remind them to check the Intelligentsia Journal Lancaster New Era for daily scores, features, game stories, and also an on-deck box highlighting the upcoming game for the day. Also look for video updates throughout the season. Thank you. That was Lancaster manager Tom Herr talking about his pitching staff and the quality of the starters. And that was Lancaster manager Tom Herr talking about the quality. I think that should go on somewhere.